This Filipina woman kills her foreigner husband to get his money and share it to her male hooker. Let's dive into this horrifying story. Evelyn Bohol is a native of Samar, Philippines. It is a remote island in the Philippines, and you can only reach it by boat. There is no running water, electricity, and sanitation. Based on her parents, despite being difficult in life, Evelyn was a very good girl, she was very well behaved, and she spent most of her time in the house to help her parents in housework. And based in her aunt, she was very talkative even when she was small. And when she was asked, "What job do you want when you grow up?" she'd say, "I want to be a bar girl so I can marry an American." Stephen is a very skilled, very intelligent man who could do an awful lot in his life, so he got a professional job abroad with triple salary from Nottingham to Hong Kong. He is very generous, kind, and very close to his parents. That's why her mom loved him so much. Then Stephen took up a new hobby. He joined the flying club in Angeles City, Pampanga, Philippines, where too many professionals come to party, surrounded by pretty women, and that's where he met Evelyn. Because of the hardships of Evelyn's life in Bohol, she ventured to find a job, and there she ended up in Angeles, Pampanga, to work as a dancer in a bar. Angeles is known as the sex capital in the Philippines. The bars here is the best opportunity and easy way to earn money from a girl like Evelyn. But the only way out for this bar girls is to get a wealthy boyfriend. So Evelyn is one of the lucky ones. Her dream of being rescued by a rich man come true. Stephen fell for Evelyn the moment he saw her. He took her up for the night, then paid the bar for £500 so she never not to return. Then Evelyn begins a new chapter of her life with the man of her dreams. Stephen told his parents about Evelyn, and his mother is disappointed because she is a prostitute, but she still understands her situation. She said as a mom, she's so pretty, so attractive, she don't deserve to do what she's doing. Then Stephen said to his father, if he could rescue just one girl from the bar life, this is what I've done. I've rescued her from that life. The couple visit to Hong Kong, so Stephen's mom, Margaret, met her son's new girlfriend for the first time. Then Stephen arranged his special surprise for them. He married Evelyn, and Stephen's hopes came true, having a blessings with 2 children. First, Jessica was born, and 2 years later, Joshua was born. The family moved from Hong Kong back to Angeles City, Philippines. It's where Evelyn worked as a bar girl, earning a 2,000 pesos a night, and now she's in a different world. They rented a house in the most expensive neighborhood. Stephen was earning £5,000 a month as a computer technician. He gave Evelyn a monthly allowance of £1,000. But despite the luxurious life enjoyed by Evelyn, her family noticed that her behavior had changed. She wasn't the same. She seemed to have this air of being rich, and she would always speak of money in a way would look down on her relatives. Margaret and Alan visited them once a year. They always took their video camera, and they noticed their daughter-in-law was acting suspiciously. Margaret said whenever they saw her in a vacation, she's text messaging and talking on the phone for a long time, communicating with someone. When she taught we're out of there, you could hear a giggle and a laugh, so we knew that she might have another lover. They also noticed that Evelyn's whole attitude towards them and Stephen, she's always angry to Stephen all the time. Margaret and Alan weren't the only one who suspected Evelyn was having an affair. Evelyn's sister Gina had moved into work as a nanny to the children, so she confronted Evelyn about the rumors. Then Evelyn finally admitted to her that it was true. She did have a lover, and she told Gina that Steve and her were having problems. But who's the man behind this? The man in question was a local security guard, earning only £1,000 a year, and that was the same as Evelyn's monthly allowance from Stephen. His name was Arnold Adorai. Stephen was becoming increasingly about his wife's behavior. Money was going missing. He'd giving Evelyn the fees for Jessica to go to a private nursery school. One day he decided to take his daughter there himself, but he became embarrassed because Jessie wasn't even enrolled. And another surprising thing Evelyn did was that she pawned their wedding ring. Because of their complicated relationship, they don't have sexual affair. So one night, Stephen chose to spend time away from his family with his friend Mike Dunn. They went out to the bar and clubs he used to go to before he was married. Stephen told Evelyn he was away on business. In fact, he was staying at Mike's house where they brought girls back to party. And this was the last home video Stephen recorded, weeks before his murder. Stephen still wanted his marriage to work? Then he gave Evelyn an ultimatum. She had to give the missing money back and get a job or get a college. But nothing changed, so he threatened her with divorce. Stephen decided to stop Evelyn's allowance, so now she was no longer able to support the large network of her family and friends that had come to depend on her. But on July 18, 2002, her mom Margaret got the news that every mother dreads. She got a telephone call from Mike saying that Stephen was dead. That night, Stephen and Mike staying in Manila at their business apartment. Mike woke up when 3 men broke in. One held a gun to his head and said, "Is this him?" When he was told no, he went into the room where Stephen was sleeping. And when the target was clear, he shot Stephen 3 to 4 times and run fast down the stairs to escape. When Mike heard them running, he went to Stephen's rooms and saw him lying there. He checked his pulse. There was none, so he went downstairs and went to the neighbors and called the police. As soon as Margaret learned of her son Stephen's murder, she flew to the Philippines. At the funeral parlor, she thought her daughter-in-law was acting suspiciously. Evelyn was sat to the left as Margaret walked in the funeral. She didn't get up and not looking in the eye of Margaret. Then Mother Margaret and Alan went toward to Stephen's coffin. Evelyn never came to them. They noticed that when they saw Evelyn, she's not looked sad. She didn't seem upset, not at all. They never saw tears from Evelyn's eyes. For Margaret and Mike, the possibility that someone committed and ordered the heinous crime to kill Stephen is none other than Evelyn. But they don't have any strong evidence to sue her. But Mother Margaret did everything to bring justice to the death of her son Stephen. The police investigation was moving very slowly. Their first theory was that someone connected with Stephen's company might have killed him. That's why Margaret hired her own private investigator, a former policeman who doesn't want to be identified. Margaret investigator carried out 24-hour surveillance on Evelyn. There were 2 men who paid regular visits to her home. One was Evelyn's lover, the other his friend, another security man. Margaret passed this information to the police, who called both men in. Mike was able to identify them as 2 of the 3 men who broke into his apartment on the night of the murder. They were both arrested, and they admit that Evelyn ordered them to kill Stephen and to get and split Stephen's money. Evelyn was convicted of guilty beyond reasonable doubt of murder, qualified by treachery without any mitigating or aggravating circumstances, and sentences her to suffer the penalty of 40 years in prison with no possibility of an early release. Finally, Mother Margaret was also given justice for the loss of her dear son Stephen. Mother Margaret and Alan took their 2 grandchildren, Jessica and Joshua, with them so that they can take care of them and give the children a good life. If you like this story, maybe you can support me by subscribing to my YouTube channel so you can watch other videos that I will upload. Thank you for watching.